Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Nothing new to y'all. I tell people to come out of her, my people, all the time. You need to come out of those cities, because your plagues and your destruction is coming. Get out, move out. And I also talk about bugging out quite a bit and bug out locations, which I just talked about, I think, in the last video. And whenever I do, I invariably hear the comment, I already live in my bug out location, or I've already bugged out, words to that effect. This video is particularly for those of you who say such things, because despite what you may think, no, you don't live in your bug out location. We're going to talk about that. But first, cue the intro. You, my dear, have perfect timing. Come here. Oh. Say hello to the people. Who is this? Vasi. Hello, Vasi. I like Vasi. Yes, we still have puppies available. You have to figure out how you're going to get to Northwest Arkansas to get one. I had somebody fly from California, somebody drive from New England, somebody drive from the Midwest. It's doable if you want one. Oh. Okay, I know you love me. I know you do. And I might keep you. I might. All right. I live at my bug out location. No, you don't. I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of bug out location when people say that. And it's not surprising. You have heard me and others who are as wise as am I say, if your first plan is to bug out in the event of an emergency, that's a bad plan. If your plan is in the event of nuclear war or EMP or heightened tensions with Russia or Iran or, whoever, or aliens are landing, whatever your plan is, I got to get out of here, but I got a bug out location and I'm bugging out. If that's your plan, that's a horrible plan because you're not going to get out in time. You're just not. You're not that much smarter than all the other people who are going to read the tea leaves, see the writing on the wall. About the same time you put it together, they're going to be like, crap, I got to get out of here. Even if they don't have some place to go, they're going to clog the roads, right? It's just going to be chaos, and you're not going to make it. And so we tell people you got to move now. And a lot of people do. And then they think, because if your plan A was to bug out to, let's say you live in Northern Virginia, and your plan A was to bug out to a part of West Virginia. And you've heard people like me say over and over again, that's a terrible plan, you're never gonna make it, you're not getting out of Nova. And so instead, they buy a house in West Virginia on 10 acres of land, and they get it all set up like this, and they're like, I'm living in my bug out location. No, you're not. Not anymore, you're not. Not once you move there, because once you move there, you're living in your primary location. And the best bet is to stay home. But you haven't bugged out. You live there. A bug out location, by its very nature, is a place you don't live. And so you shouldn't have as plan A for an emergency to bug out. Plan A for any emergency should be to stay where you are. Because where you are should be awesome, right? As awesome as you can make it. So your plan A should be to stay there. But no matter where you are, you need to have a plan to go somewhere else if the place you're in, the awesome place you're in, becomes untenable, or it's fixing to become untenable. Ideally, you do it before it becomes untenable. Then you have to have a place to bug out to. Does that make sense? You need options. In the military, we have what's called a reserve. I'm not talking about the National Guard and Reserve. I'm talking about when you have your forces arrayed for battle, whether that's defensive battle or offensive battle, you always have a reserve. And those are guys, those are soldiers, military members, who don't have a job in this upcoming operation except to be the reserve. And typically, it's 1/9 to 1/3 of the force. I'm just holding these back in reserve. I may do this with them, I may do that with them, I may do this with them, but they don't have a job. In the military, we have all kinds of orders we give people. We have be prepared to orders, we have on order orders. Like on order, you will move to position B and defend it. Well, on order means it's a plan. I got something planned for them. That can't be your reserve. You can have be prepared to. Be prepared to reinforce these guys. Be prepared to back up these guys. Be prepared to exploit this attack avenue. Those are fine for reserve, but an on-order plan you can't have. And so my point is this: you have to be prepared to do something else other than what you're doing. And that is your bug out location. You can't live at your bug out location. Once you move, that was the point I wanted to make with the reserve. Once a commander commits his reserve, whether he's doing an attack, it's going good, the enemy's on the run, and he wants to throw some more guys at it, so he commits his reserve to go cut them off at the pass and, kill them, or he's being overrun and Charlie Company's in trouble, so he throws his reserve over there to Charlie Company to stiffen up the line. Once a commander commits his reserve, he has to immediately reconstitute another reserve. You gotta have a reserve. You always have to have options. You always have to have plan B. So do you. When you set up your location that you're living at, you need another place to go all the time, which is why having PACE, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency, really works in your favor, because if I'm living here and this is my primary bug out location and something happens and I go to my primary bug out location, I already have 3 more bug out locations to go to. I went from my primary to I go to my primary bug out location, then I have an alternate, a contingency, and emergency. I'll just get another one down there sometime. But you already have it set up. See, you always need options. And so you do not live at your bug out location. And there are too many people, I tell you, people are mentally and emotionally weak. I talked in a recent video about having to fight 3 body types like NFL linemen, right? And because people never want to imagine something outside of their capabilities. It's like, I could not do that, so I'm not going to imagine that. That's ridiculous. People hate imagining having to leave their little slice of heaven. I built this homestead, this is High Prairie Acres, so I've got gardens and chicken coops, and it's fenced and cross fenced. I've got, goat shed, milking sheds, additional sheds, and above ground pond. Dun, 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 dun. I would hate to have to leave here. Yeah, but you still may have to. So what's your plan when you do? And again, if you can't conceptualize what would make you leave this place over any other place, you're not trying hard enough, right? So please don't tell me you already live at your bug out location, because what that really tells me is you haven't thought beyond your nose where you're at right now. And you can't imagine going somewhere else. And there's too many people say, well, I'll just die right here. You say that now. But when the enemy military is a mile away and artillery is booming and they're moving towards you, you're not gonna stay there. You're gonna run. Walking down the road with a ratchet in your waist. Where you gonna run to? Oh, where are you gonna run to? Better to know now. Better to plan now. Better to prepare that place in the wilderness now. Or you'll be wishing that you did. I hope you never have to go to your bug out location. I hope the place you're living at is my bug out location. I hope the place you're living at is awesome. And you get to sit the apocalypse out right there. But you may not be able to. So come up with a bug out location. Do the best you can with what you got where you're at. And I may see you out there.